What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 870 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Pyles, on this Thursday here in Austin, Texas. Joined once again by Ben Funky Askren, James Dean Rader, and you. Always you, thankfully.
Always you.
Good morning to everyone. Ben, how are you on this Thursday?
Well, you know what I do? I try not to drink my coffee early now because I don't want it to pee too bad by the time I got the episode. So I'm excited to take my first sip of coffee. I'm excited to talk some wrestling. And you know what else?
Tell me.
I think I've really started looking forward to. I really enjoy the picks.
Oh yeah, good.
We're making picks today.
We're making picks today. I unfortunately missed a portion of them. Getting to pick some.
So I think we're just either we give Christian a 0 on that portion, JD, or we take the portion all the way out. It's got to be one or two because he can't have a different number than we do.
The public didn't get to make those picks either, so those can be just can be just for our own personal.
That's fair.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So fun stuff.
Of
there.
which I did very well, by the way.
Well, JD turning a new leaf.
Not that you guys are.
I think this is a
gambler.
classic returning to the mean for JD because we always lauded him last year for how great his lines were, but his picks were often terrible.
I did not do well. I did very average in the normal picks last week.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyways, maybe you're not doing good. I don't know what you meant then. But
my CKLV picks weren't too bad.
Oh, your CKLV picks. Gotcha.
Yeah, he actually did the best on the. I mean, it was only me and him. He did the best. I
and
missed a few
Kozak.
more. You're right. Kozak did them too. I forgot that.
He had the power of the Lord.
That
Yes,
company
he did.
I work with, Verdict, for MMA, I'm trying to get them by NCAAs. This is my goal, Christian and JD, by NCAAs. So what they do is they have where you have like a little face and you can pick them, and then you pick what round they win and how they're going to win, and then you do like a bonus point total, like based on how sure you are of the event, and the more bonus points you bet versus like how unlikely the outcome is, you get more points, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. How much fun would that be for NCAAs? I'm really, really pushing them to get it done. I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
It would probably do pretty well for NCAAs. It probably for other tournaments, maybe not so much. But conference weekend,
Not so much.
would be cool too.
Yeah,
Fantasy wrestling, gambling on wrestling, very, very fun. Also profitable if you know what you're doing, which I can claim to be.
Yeah, I would always wonder who. Is there anywhere you can actually really gamble on wrestling?
There have been places.
Sportsbooks in Iowa have been doing lines this year. Circus Sports
Really?
Iowa. Yep. And there was another one in Iowa this past weekend that put out a line for the Iowa State meet.
Really?
So you gotta have a proxy. You gotta have people in the know back in Iowa.
So I know
place your bets for you.
Sportsbook.ag had lines for like Olympics and stuff in the past.
The Barstool Sportsbook, Penn did.
There've been others.
Olympic lines as well.
Had NCAAs over the years, but it's hit and miss.
Yeah, I mean, because you could really get wrecked. I feel like wrestling is so much more predictable. Despite what Shane Sparks says about not being predictable,
Well, you
I
can't.
feel like versus
It's literally impossible.
versus mixed martial arts, wrestling is so much more predictable. So if you have someone who's making bad lines, it's going to be really easy to win.
You get shredded for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, you really need to make the favorites pretty big odds in general.
The other thing that I noticed today, guys, is we should just do questions because there's like 7 billion questions.
Yeah,
in the doc.
I
tried
want to do
scrolling.
that
Because we haven't answered one this week.
Yeah, we apologize. It's when you're following like the craziest weekend in wrestling in a really, really long time. Unfortunately, that was a casualty, which I don't like. But
I just read the best question. I just scrolled through them again. Can we start with the best question?
is it from Wick Jacoby?
It is not, because he does not like you.
Giant baby. Honestly, like I can say this, and there's a lot of interesting fan bases. Missouri has a collective whiny fan base, in my experience.
Ooh.
I don't know, Pyles.
I don't know.
So obviously, I don't
think-
hear Missouri's whining. I hear everyone else is whining. Like
I do
if
hear
see
Mizzou
something
hater
Oklahoma
Christian
State,
Pyles.
Penn State, and I feel like I try to be fair and balanced. I don't have biases, but no matter what I say, people are mad.
That's true too.
But you just hate Missouri.
I don't.
All right, best
Case in
question.
point.
We should get you guys know what we should start doing. We should have a best question of the week, and they should get a Flow Wrestling T-shirt.
That sounds awesome.
What do you think? That
We gotta
sounds
get our
awesome.
hands on some T-shirts. Otherwise,
You-
JD and I are just gonna start mailing our clothes to people.
There's no more Flow shirts or what?
They're not easy to come by. We can't. There's not just some public box where you can just go and swipe a shirt and mail it to someone.
JD, I
We
got
do
a
have a
business
store.
plan for you. Don't tell
We have a
Christian.
store.
You and me.
They can
we
buy
can
a
go
free
start a-
shirt.
We can start a Flow Wrestling T-shirt store and claim to be official, and no
Sion
one will know
did
because
that.
there's not another store.
Sion has so much bootleg Flow gear. It's insane.
Yes,
He wears these like wild pattern, like turquoise with a flow.
Now where's Dan Flash's
What?
Flow T-shirts?
Yep, very complicated patterns.
And we're like, Sion,
Wow.
we know this was never produced by anybody at Flow Sports.
Yes.
What does he say?
Oh man,
Man,
why
y'all-
don't you shut up?
Man, y'all gonna make me one? You gonna make me a T-shirt? Okay.
All right, best question of the week, and I didn't read through the other ones. It's just so good. I know it's gonna win. Nick Kroniger, who is Nickin Chuggets. That's a funny name.
Yep.
Can we institute the 2008 freestyle rules for 165 so we can watch Tanner Cook dominate the ball grab era when people have to start in on his leg in a head outside shot? I think it's a delightful idea. I don't see why not.
I think it would end. See, part of Tanner's problem is like he kind of lands exposing himself before he takes the guys over. So it could be.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But if you can get the pin,
No, but it's folk style, so he's not going to get exposure points.
Oh, okay. So ball draw with folks,
Just they start with the head outside on the shot. That's it. That's what I
Oh.
mean. That's what he's getting to.
then yeah, he's on a GOAT trajectory. If we can just make that subtle change to the rules, he would be in great shape.
Yeah. Second period, you get to choose. Do you want to be the offensive guy or the defensive guy?
Yes. Nick also had another Tanner Cook question. He's like, what is worse for the sport of wrestling, the overabundance of medical forfeits or cowardly wrestlers shooting anything but head outside shots against Tanner Cook? He
Great
said, just
question,
kidding.
Nick.
He said, just kidding about the
Coward.
cowardly part. It is
So funny. I love it.
the forfeits are not great.
There was a lot at Vegas.
Well, are people just getting injured more now, or are they just wrestling? I mean, you watch these guys and they are limping. They're not like, I mean, I'm sure there were some that could have went that didn't, but
Yeah.
a lot of these people just get hurt.
hurt or
Yeah.
injured.
Wow. That's a good point.
I think there's probably say 20 years ago or so, people probably pushed through too much is what I would guess. And now maybe it's a little too far the other way, but yeah, there's a lot of guys who actually get hurt. Not all of them, but there
If
are
you're
a
a little
lot.
dinged up though, what's the pro in wrestling? Wrestling back.
Just
But when the downside
character building.
character
Yeah,
building.
I mean,
I would say, I also wonder if this is a variable. Like if you're dominating a match, we would agree it's less likely you would get injured. Is the level of wrestling's, as it's gone up, created more and more matches where there's the potential for injury? Could that be a thing?
I think the scrambling too, because when people don't know what they're doing in the scrambles, they can definitely get hurt.
So this is your
And
fault.
yeah, I mean, my fault for sure. And then, but yeah, to your point, the pace of wrestling is much faster. So I think the likelihood of injury would be higher, for sure.
Okay.
I tell you guys, I mean, I know we talked about it, but this would be really relevant to this topic is, it was months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and I clicked on YouTube or something, and for some reason the 1996 or 97 NCAA finals were like the first thing on the screen. I'm like, F it. I actually got nothing to do for like an hour. I'm going to watch the NCAA finals. And it doesn't feel like, I mean, 96, 97, I was middle school going into high school.
Yeah.
And the pace of wrestling was so slow. It was like watching something totally different, you know? And I'm sure those guys were powerful and they were strong. And like, but from a just strictly technical perspective, the pace of the wrestling moves so much slower than it does today.
Just in terms of like attack rate?
Yeah, they were just like fakes, motion, how people flow through attacks or defensive attacks, counterattacks or reattacks. Yes, the motion, the pace, all of it. All of it was it was really static. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Holding.
Okay. Yes, a lot of holding, a lot of pushing. When people got in on attacks, relatively simplistic finish attempts, and then obviously on the other side, relatively simplistic defensive tactics.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we? What should we do first? How do we prioritize?
That's what I'm saying. We got
do-
so many things to do. The thing we have to do picks.
Let's do picks. Let's get picks done.
Let's do picks.
Let's get to some questiones. JD has another idea.
Before we get into this week's picks, I never did shout out last week's winners.
Oh.
And so there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that tied for first, and I guess maybe match points isn't clear, just based off of these guesses, because the tiebreaker was how many match points will be scored in the Iowa State duel. When I say match points, I mean like takedown, near fall, escapes, etc. Like points like that, not team points, but individual match points. So all 5 of these guys are getting a shout out. Shout out to our main man, Obrats of WrestleStat.
Oh, did he?
Yep, he won.
Hey,
Michael Scarn
Wow.
of The Office fame. Evan Copeland, Shayne.
Not our Shayne.
Probably
I
not.
can eliminate one Shayne.
We did call him a crazy person yesterday.
Yeah.
And Dane D.
Dane D. Okay. Well, congrats to you. Thank you guys for playing. Pretty competitive. All right. Let's get to these picks for this week. What are the big duels happening this week, first of all, other than World Cup?
Missouri, Virginia Tech is the big one.
Ooh, baby.
That's probably the main event of the weekend.
Baby.
That's Sunday afternoon or evening.
I love it. Okay. Let's go. All right. First one you have in here is Jared Franek versus Brayton Lee. And you say this is a pick 'em. So the winner wins. I'm going to pick return to the mean, Brayton Lee.
I literally thought the exact same sentence when you said that this morning, or when I saw the line this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Is regression to the mean. He had a bad performance. Surely he's going to have a better one this time. All right, how has Franek been this year? Only 1-1. Lost to Peyton Robb, which is he's pretty good.
He hasn't really wrestled anybody besides Rob, though, right?
Surely they have wrestled before.
Brayton Lee won.
Brayton Lee won in overtime 2 years ago. Last year.
Yeah, last season.
Who am I going to pick here? Where's it at? Is it Minnesota or is it North Dakota State?
I don't know. You need to know elevation for both venues.
Relevant data. If it was elevation.
Confirm it's not the Buffalo Wild Wings in Fargo, the highest point.
Yes.
I'll go Jared Franek.
Okay.
You are on Franek Island. I'm going Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. The Island. Y'all shouldn't be allowed to even pick anything but Cleveland Belton in this one. It's Bo Bartlett versus Cleveland Belton. And for all the hate,
how many points?
2.5
for Bartlett.
For Bo. Now, first of all, I'm taking Bo.
You are obligated.
Of course.
I'm not obligated.
Obviously.
I'm smart.
Good God. Did you see this?
Possibly.
You have to tell us
Belton had a 15-14 match with Josh Coderhan. Those matches don't happen in college.
It did. That's like a freestyle score. We got to go back and watch that one.
Seriously. For real. Jeez Louise.
He lost 6-1 to Ryan Jack.
Beat Parker-Phillies, though.
NDSU Minnesota is in Fargo.
Whoa.
All right. Let's go
How
for
far high above sea level is Fargo? It's up.
Can't be much.
It's up there.
Shut
Fargo
up.
elevation.
All right, I'll go Cleveland Belton. I got 2.5 points. I think that's a pick.
Who did you go with?
Cleveland Belton.
I'll go Bartlett.
JD's so
Dang.
smart, dude. It's
Everyone's
crazy.
opposing me today.
I kind of am against you being able to, but you have the spreadsheet, so I'm powerless to stop you.
That's right.
Here's another one. This is tough. Aaron Brooks versus Trey Munoz. Brooks.
I did see this one.
5.5 point favorite.
Now, Munoz did injury default out of CKLV, I believe? Or was he the recipient of some? I remember him not having matches on the backside.
It says lost by injury to Matt Feinstein and medical forfeit against Kate King. So
he injury
don't
defaulted.
know.
So I am not 100% sure if this match will go down or not. And I have not had time to reach out.
I would think Brooks is kind of an interesting one because sometimes, I don't know, he beat Keckeisen pretty good. But Munoz is going to slow it down a little bit.
Munoz has lost, so he's lost decisively. I don't know, a significant amount of times, but he has lost decisively. Got majored by Truex, pinned by O'Malley. I'm going back here.
Yeah.
Got majored by Marcus Coleman.
Yeah, I'll take Aaron to cover this.
He did wrestle Truex tough a couple times last year.
He beat
I'll
Truex
go
once.
Aaron.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he pinned
Has
him.
a lot of points though.
5.5's a lot, but Aaron looked great.
I get 6.
Are we gonna get motivated, Aaron, or unmotivated?
I know
Aaron?
that's what it is. It seems like if Aaron wants to win by more, he could. I think none of us are denying that. But does he want to win by more?
Well, I don't know.
We should tell him Aaron.
Aaron, Bubby.
I'm picking Aaron. So
who's been picking?
He went Brooks,
I
right?
picked Aaron.
Oh, we all did. All right. Well,
listen to the words that come out of my mouth.
Well, I was okay. Fine. Max Dean versus Tanner Harvey. Dean 2.5 all day. I got Dean covering that.
Tanner Harvey had a really good
Dean wrestles
CKLV.
close matches sometimes.
He do. But he's just one leg dismemberment away from blowing it out of the water.
This is true.
But okay, so he lost to Trumbull 6-4, and he lost to Michael Beard by 4. So you guys are giving him 2.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he did beat Norfleet. He beat Andy Smith.
I think I'm going
nervous,
Dean to win, Harvey to cover.
Wait,
Dean wins by 1 or 2.
This is the wait. Tanner Harvey wrestled for Army. He transferred to Oregon State,
Arizona,
American, I think.
American.
I think he was at
American. For American.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say because all right, yeah, I'm looking through old. He did make the NCAAs in 2019, long time ago. Yeah. Oh man, who am I gonna pick here?
That is actually. I don't think
can we negotiate to 3.5?
No, there's no negotiating.
Why not? If you give me 3.5, I will take Tanner Harvey.
No, because that means the line is.
Come on, let's make a deal.
No.
Why not?
The odds would go significantly down.
Yeah, it's very different.
He did only lose to Louis DePerez by 2 points. He lost to Aaron Brooks by 3 points. This was in 2020, of course. Oh, all right. I'm gonna go Max Dean because he had a rough weekend. I think he's gonna try to come back strong. I don't feel like he's gonna win by more than a couple. I feel like it's gonna be like in the 2-3 range. So I'll go with Max Dean covering, but I think it's gonna be close.
Yeah,
I'm alone in the Harvey Army.
Man, I kind of want to pick Harvey.
We'll do it.
I'm not going to. You're being a coward.
All right.
When is this duel taking place, guys? Penn State, Oregon State?
That is a Sunday duel. I think
Sunday duel also.
Minnesota, NDSU is Friday, and then all the rest of these in the picks are Sunday.
Got it.
All right.
I will tell you. I'm getting to their roster. I'll tell you the Mountain Time, Pacific Time, Standard Time.
I would go to their schedule for that. But
Penn State, oh my goodness, what is Penn State doing? This is, actually, this is convenient for me because it's before all my practices start. 11 a.m. Eastern duel, it appears. Or wait, do you think Oregon State changed it so it's Pacific Time?
Normally, their schedules are in their time zone that they are located in. So if you're at the Oregon State,
I'm on Oregon State's website and it says 11 a.m. So that
would be Pacific Time.
Oh man, dang it all! I was hoping it happened before practice started.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Trevor Master Giovanni versus Joey Prada in Bedlam. 2.5 point favorite for Mastro.
He's too split last year.
Yeah, I
remember correctly.
Give me Prada to cover that.
Does OU have another? Does OU have another 125 they throw out there sometimes?
No? I don't think so.
Okay. I feel like they did. I am on Penn State's website, and I do confirm it is 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. is the Pacific time. I will
Thank you.
pick Joey Prada.
Prada.
Is that a dumb pick? That kind of feels like a dumb pick.
Change it.
Who are you
It seems
picking?
like a sucker line.
Change it.
Like,
Just do it. Be a wimp. Who you got, James?
I went Prada too. I'm not
Across the
confident in
board.
it though.
He's a Virginian. He'll pull it out.
He was at Virginia Tech for a while.
Yes, he was.
He lost to Malik by 2, Carter Bailey by a point, D'Agostino by 2 points. He did lose to Mastro by 3 last year, but then he beat Mastro also by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going Prada.
Bedlam kind of
He
down
lost
this
him
year
by 2.
compared to normal,
Makai.
just in terms of high level ranked matchups.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Could still be a close duel, fun duel, but
Brock Mahler versus
Mastro.
Caleb Hinson. Mahler, 1.5
man.
favorite. I got Hinson.
Mahler?
I think Hinson
Of
wins
course
this
you
straight
do.
up.
Of course you do.
okay, Homer.
Because Mahler, I'm gonna go Mahler in an overtime victory, so that's a 2-point win.
I think Mahler too.
Yes.
Although I think the overtime wins are cheap for the point game. I think if it goes to regulation,
No.
that
It's
should
just
be
like-
Well, then it could go to rideouts.
Just like in NFL
I-
gambling.
got to factor that in.
Yep.
This one, I kind of went. I thought about making it a pick'em because we've seen obviously Hinson is getting talked about more this season because he beat Sammy Sasso, but people forget how good Brock Mahler was.
Well, he forgot last year also when he lost to Hunter Richard and Chase Saldana.
Yes, he did.
He's just up a weight. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
You listen to Mr. Let's forget everything Paniro Johnson did last
Mizzou
year.
hater
The
Christian
whole Brock Mahler
Pyles.
lost
What's
against
good for
him.
the goose? What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Hokey
Ben.
Homer, Mizzou hater over here.
Brock Mahler he worked over Sammy Hilligus, who's pretty good. Beat him 10-2. That was
Well, let's
kind of.
calm down.
Well, I'm just saying, scoring.
Bracket's
But
gonna beat you
the
up.
Dom Demas match was really boring. That was 2-0.
Yeah.
And he
Every
lost
Dom
to
Demas
Parko
match is
3-2.
boring unless he
Yeah.
inside trips them.
Yeah, he's like pure chaos for 3 seconds a match, and then it's just like, all right, let me just hold it.
Who were the matches he had where they literally just basically stared at each
Ironman.
other? Ironman, yes.
We're like, oh, watch this match is about to be crazy, and they literally
it
just
was like 1-0, 2-1 or something
was-
like that.
it was brutal. But then in freestyle, they were
Terrible.
like flying in, and yeah, it was crazy then. But yeah, I think Hinson covers this. I mean, 1.5's not a lot of wiggle room. He could wrestle really well and lose in overtime. But those are the risks. I'm taking them.
Mm-hmm.
Makai Lewis versus Peyton Mako. 2.5 point for Makai. He's the favorite there. Obviously, I got Mako covering this. But
Well,
Makai
that's
winning.
where I'm going to go also. I'm contractually
It's
obligated.
They actually wrestled once, and it went to tiebreakers.
It was really close.
And Makai would have covered this. He won 9-6 because he got the escape and a takedown.
Yeah, that was man, Peyton was so close to that was our ignition trip last year where we took 7th and 8th graders, and Peyton was so close to like 2 takedowns in overtime. I think it's really close because Makai definitely can't ride Peyton at all. So and he'll never get like the takedown ride outs. So every takedown's a point. And I think Peyton can get 1 or 2 scrambles on him to make it close. And I think Peyton has a chance of winning if he can create the scramble battle. Makai obviously should probably be more wise bet after last year. But we just saw, against Labriola, for example, he gave up a couple leg passes, gave up a takedown on one, and almost gave up a takedown on a different one.
I think I'm going to go Makai. I'm going 2 takedowns to none. Makai.
Yeah, it could be a good, all right, first of all, dual meet, different format. The team points are going to be huge
Could
there.
be close match, third period. Mako trying to make something happen.
Yep.
Maybe forces a little bit. Makai picks up his second takedown.
Yep, for sure. But I'm sticking with Peyton to cover this. We should have, not now, but at some point, we should have like a needle threading option where we pick one guy to like for example here, if you picked Peyton in the points, but Makai to win by 2 or 1 or 2, then like you thread the needle and you get like double points.
Prop bet.
Double point.
Okay. What were you
Right.
gonna say, Ben?
I was gonna say, someone in the chat, in the YouTube chat, had a very nice point. And they said Flow's ranking system would be improved if you had an objective phase out of last year's result as this year's progresses. Otherwise, use of last year's is highly subjective, and I agree with that point.
You're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. That is what we do.
That is what we do.
But
Yeah.
it does feel as though, like maybe last year's results are being brought up sometimes, and sometimes they're being forgot about. You guys have a very.
Could you give an example other than Paniro?
Well, I mean, one example is all we would need, right?
Well, an example, but if the majority do not follow that.
Well, but like with and I don't like this, and so maybe I'm arguing against myself here, but I don't like that you don't count any injury defaults, given the fact that the Will on
well, that's separate.
That's a separate issue.
That's totally separate. You're talking about
no, I'm saying, but what I'm saying is you have a hard and fast rule for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when are last year's results phased out when someone has
You can't just have
12
a hard and fast
matches
rule.
or 15 matches, or like
Yeah.
at what point do you say we are no longer paying attention?
Everyone looks for that level of simplicity, but it
Also, then like you can't count Yanni's complete resume. Like he wouldn't be.
he'd be
number one.
unranked, and then you have totally disingenuous rankings. So there's got to be
he would be unranked.
what by what basis is he ranked this year?
Well, if you counted.
Well, he has one lost. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you don't count previous work, it'll be he started at number 1. He has one loss to the guy who's probably number 1, 2, or 3.
But why should he be ranked 1 then?
Because he's a returning national champion.
He's 0. But okay, but
My suggestion was, Christian, that you do after a certain amount of matches, then you neglect last year's results. Right? Is like once you get to 12 or 15 or somewhere in there.
Okay, Paniro's had 5 matches.
Yeah.
And we're a month into the season.
Yeah. I don't think a hard and fast rule makes sense. I think you could do that and make ranking a lot easier and also way worse and less accurate.
Okay.
There's plenty of options for inaccurate rankings if you want to look around. They're all over the internet and printed on paper. But ours, they're very good.
People actually print
That's
them.
also
or
the
they just leave
tremendous
them on
point
the
about
line?
rankings is that they create discussion, that two people can look at the exact same resume and go, I think this should be the outcome and I think this should be the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like the BCS National Championship completely formulaic, it's like you can't argue with it because it's the formula.
It is.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right, fair enough. Got one more pick. Mizzou versus Virginia Tech.
I got Virginia Tech covering this. He has Missouri as a 5.5 point favorite. I think.
I don't think Certain is wrestling. He didn't wrestle last week. So let's see. Mizzou's going to win.
I got
at
Ventresca
heavyweight.
anyways over Certain.
What's up?
I would pick Ventresca probably over Certain anyways.
Of course you would. Contractually obligated.
As are you.
Mizzou's going to win 70. Let's see. They're going to win heavyweight 97. 74. I would love to see that happen. That would be outstanding. They're going to win 65 for sure. Who's 57 for Virginia Tech right now? Oh,
Bryce
dang. Is he
Andonian.
back?
I bet he doesn't wrestle.
No, I bet he will.
You think he will?
Yeah. I think the Vegas thing was like scheduled. Those guys weren't going as of All-Star.
Well, then why'd Mackay go?
No. I'm saying the guys that didn't go to Vegas, it was determined before All-Star that they weren't going to go to Vegas, like Caleb and Bryce.
Got it.
So I think there's no cause for alarm there. I think we see Bryce.
But Caleb didn't go to All-Star.
No, it's not. What I'm saying is.
Oh,
those
it was
guys. Okay,
determined
I got you.
Previously.
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm still going through. Who's Virginia Tech's 41?
Tech matches up awesome in this duel, by the way.
Who does?
I think Tech matches up really well against him.
Yeah, who's I'm looking for some results here. Ohio State. Let's go to the recap. Who's their 41? I'm blanking.
Tom Crook.
Oh, Tom Crook. All right, I think we're gonna get that one. Dan Latona. I don't think we're gonna get that. I gotta go Virginia Tech because I think they could win 25. If they could win 25, they could win 6. But without that, I don't think they're gonna win 6.
Yeah,
I think they're going
I'm
5-5 and
Tech.
it comes down to bonus.
Yeah. Hokies.
I
Hokies-
probably would have
pick
made the line
person?
closer if I'd have known certain wrestling.
Honestly, I think.
And I thought Andonian might not wrestle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you factored, if Andonian doesn't wrestle, that hurts. I don't know who Tech's backup 57 is because Brady's up at 65.
Who'd they do in the first couple?
Whatever
games?
happened to Clayton
Oh,
Ulrich?
Ulrich.
Is he still,
It was
still on their
Ulrich.
team?
Yeah, Clayton Ulrich.
Yeah, Ulrich's not bad. He could probably wrestle with JQs. At least he wouldn't get bonused.
Yeah, it would be close.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it's a fun duel. That's the best duel of the weekend. Once again, it involves the
That seems to
Hokies.
always be a pretty good duel. I mean,
It
for the last
is.
few years.
Yeah, very, very good programs, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to some questions. Or let's do some brief World Cup and then questions. Is that fair? That's fair.
Because World Cup is this weekend.
It is this
It's
weekend.
going to be awesome.
It begins very soon. Iran, it sounds like they're making it. They're going
Yep.
to make it in. Looks like they made it. And could be some great potential matchups. A reminder of Team USA's lineup. It's not all our ones. It's some ones. Now, one thing I'm interested, 57, we've got Zane and Soriano. Who do you think they
Yeah.
use more?
Yeah. How do they determine who?
And
they
how
use?
did they determine it? Because I think in our minds, we're like, Soriano's probably the better option based on limited data. But Zane's been just a mainstay and very solid forever. So who do they go with?
Mm.
Who would you go with, Ben? Coach Ben?
I mean, I got Soriano, but
Yeah.
for me, Zane Richards, it seems like he never wrestles full matches. Like you'll see flashes of brilliance and then some not so great things. So, hey, does Kozak still have his website where you can look at their freestyle results?
I think he might have taken it down.
Hang it all.
I
I would
don't
love
know
to
that.
see how do I Zane's resume. I mean, because when you say something like that, like with WrestleStat, you can go look and see like is what I'm saying true or not. Because I feel like it's true, but with these international guys, sometimes it's hard to track down their entire resume.
Yeah. Now it looks like you need a login. I don't know.
Jeez, Kozak.
Jeez, Kozak. Yeah.
He won 10-0, 10-0, 11-0 at FRL.
Against.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who. Just that it happened. All you need to know is that it happened. Okay.
Well,
The
let's-
USA
let me
Wrestling
check
results
close-
page. If they're from the USA, is where you can find all of their results.
57.
Where at?
The USA Wrestling results page.
USAWmembership.com/US and a bunch of letters.
SAW membership.
I can send it to you.
All right, let's put it in the doc.
Let's keep moving. This is probably
Let's
not
keep it
great
moving.
radio.
Great radio. Best
Seth
radio.
Seth Gross should be our 61. Deshays are our backup. Yanni, 65. Everyone looking for that World Finals rematch potentially against Amuzad.
That dude is good. I don't get blown away very many times. I watch that dude. I'm like, oh my god,
What blows
This
you
dude's
away
really
about
good.
him?
he's good, and he enforces
Oh.
he enforces his will in the game he wants to wrestle, and he is relentless with it.
Yeah. He so I rewatched his match here before the show with Yanni. And he's incredible. But he's almost kind of stiff in his movements and his
A
motion.
little bit stiff. That's kind of Iranians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't have any visible negative impacts on it. It's just sort of an observation more than anything. And I was stunned at how often Yanni shot in that match. And my theory behind this, and Ben, you'll probably have a better theory
Yeah.
than this, but was that the hand fight, and I feel like Yanni didn't feel like he could stay in the center with him,
Yeah.
and didn't want to get pushed out, so he just kept firing under and hoping he wouldn't get run behind a bunch.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
You
can
kind of see
text
something
him.
like that happen in remember the first Yazdani and Taylor match is Taylor kept trying to go underneath because he was getting pushed out so much.
Yeah. 57,
Same race.
Pantaleo and Berger. 60 or 74. I'm sorry. I'm doing college weights accidentally. 70 kilograms, Pantaleo and Berger. 74, Nolf and Chenzo. 79, Jordan Burroughs, Chance Marsteller. 86, Zahid and Mark. Hall. 86 or 92, Nate Jackson. 97, Kyle Snyder. Heavyweight, Zilmer or Gwiz. So it's gonna be uphill to beat Iran if they truly bring their ones.
John Kozak reminded us in the chat that Zane Richards beat Nick Sirianni 12-0 at Senior Nationals.
What?
What year?
2019.
No.
Backside.
Really? I'm on his results. I'm on his results page right now. Let's see. Am I back to no, back to 2019. Zane has some not great losses in here, which is so I feel validated in what I said.
Oh, no, Nick Sirianni beat Zane Richards 12-0.
That sounds better. Because like Sean Russell.
Sorry, I misread.
12-4 over Zane. He got tech fall by Gilman. He lost to Ethan Rotundo. There's some things in here that aren't really great.
Yeah, it's Nick. He gets a slice here.
And 10-0 at the 2019 Bill Ferrell.
Okay, so this is sort of established.
Yeah.
It should be Nicholas, young Nicholas. Okay, so just for the schedule, pool play on Saturday. So we have to beat Georgia and Mongolia. And Iran will need to beat the
Mongolia,
world.
actually, they're bringing a decent team. They're going to be favored at a couple weights.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But it's ours to lose in day one pool play.
Indeed. So that starts on Saturday. Check it out.
Yeah,
please.
pool play on Saturday and then placement matches on Sunday.
I noticed you don't have any pick'ems for the Iron Tiger Texas Central tournament.
Is that going down this weekend?
That's going down Sunday.
Is that a real tournament name?
Man, I thought you were a wrestling expert. Yes, it's real.
Say it one more time. Iron Tiger?
Iron Tiger.
Crouching Dragon?
Yes. It's the
Look, in terms of wrestling tournament names, that is very low on the totem pole of believability.
I'll give you a pass this week as long as next week you include the Stockyard Stampede in Fort Worth.
Oh, that one has alliteration, so I believe it's wrestling.
Texas Tiger.
Yeah. So we'll be at the Outlaws will be at both of those, committing all kinds of crimes.
Nice.
Yes.
When you bring the Outlaws to Wisconsin?
I mean, I don't know if the Outlaws can travel state lines. It could be a situation.
They wrestle the preseason nationals.
They can, but it's not easy. They have to, circumvent some of some of law enforcement. I don't know if the Outlaws are ready for that Wisconsin heat yet.
Bring it on up here. We got
why
no
don't
heat
you
right
come
now.
on down here to the Stockyard Stampede? Bring your AWA crew.
I actually looked at coming to those because we like to travel. Dual meets are really hard with youth kids because, especially with clubs, frequently you'll end up with like 3 really good guys at one weight, and then there's another weight you have no one that's that good, and then you have to fill the weight with someone who's not as skilled for the tournament. He comes and he goes 0-6, and you're like, oh, that sucks for him,
Yeah.
So we do usually do like 1 or 2 duels, but we kind of try to stay away from them because it's not ideal. We went to what's the one in Colorado? It's the same type of series that they do one in Colorado. We went to that a few years. What's it called?
Tour of America.
Yeah, we did the one in Colorado one time with some guys. But we don't really travel that much during youth season.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Caleb is very fired up to be competing. I know that much.
Nice. Yeah, our older guys are like 7th and 8th graders. We really push them to keep going in the spring. So like, do the state, and then hopefully some of them make the schoolboy duels team, and then you have like a Northern Plains or a Central Regional, both are really close for us, and then maybe the kids nationals for like the 8th graders or far, some of the 8th graders are old enough to do Fargo, so that potentially.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Let's go to some questions.
Let's do it.
Cool. What are the best voicemails, James? And we changed it. We don't want questions. We just want your takes. Just get those takes off your chest.
Let's just play voicemail number
can
1.
Can we rebut their takes?
Oh, yeah, we'll rebut.
Okay. Hot takes. Let's go.
I think he's getting them ready.
In the room since the Iowa.
All right, I swear it'll
Calling with
play.
a question
That's simple.
that's kind of been the elephant in the room since
Normally
the
he's
Iowa
like got him
Iowa
ready
State
before I
duel.
even say it.
One of the biggest matches of the
So
duel
ready.
that has major
All right, maybe not.
cause implications.
I'm not hearing
Ended up
anything.
All right.
only being
Normally
major
Maybe we're
Tyler would
doing
be
no
like,
voicemails.
not a tech, not
oh
a
no,
fall.
we don't hear it. I got nothing.
We got some
Alright.
technical difficulties.
Okay.
In the meantime,
We will read a question.
also this weekend,
Also,
before we get to the questions, Iron Man, prestigious high school tournament. If you want to tune in to a preview of that, shortly after this will be Who's Number One, the show.
oh yeah,
You can tune into that. We're going to have David Bray on to preview Iron Man. There's going to be a lot of really good matchups.
yeah, you won't regret that. Iron Man, Iron Tiger. It is just quite the weekend.
So my question is, does that hurt Kobe Seabrook's Hodge chance?
All right, we're gonna start it over. I
Hey
think.
guys, calling with a question that's kind of been the elephant in the room since the Iowa State duel. One of the biggest matches of the duel that has major Hodge implications ended up only being a major decision, not a tech, not a fall. So my question is, does that hurt Kobe Seabrook's Hodge chances? Thanks.
What a hot take. I love it. Great. I don't even need to say
No.
anything.
It doesn't hurt his Hodge chances. I think it helps it. It bolsters his case.
In fact, play voicemail number 2, Tyler.
Gentlemen, Dave from Iowa City. Hot take. Kobe Seabrook, Hodge watch. Ben Askren's son. The funk flows through him. Let's go Hawks.
Wow, is this your son? Is Kobe?
I did
Seabrook-
not father Kobe Seabrook.
Is
to my
every person
knowledge.
that has
Then why
curly
won't-
hair your son?
Yeah. Then why won't
Although
you take?
I don't
why
know
won't you
his
take
mom,
a paternity
so-
test? Why won't you go on Maury? Maury
never
said you
know.
won't go on his show.
Kobe Seabrook on fire. We got 2 hot takes about him. I love it. Let's go.
Kobe Seabrook for Hodge. Let's start the campaign.
He's.
I never
certainly-
visited Lisbon, Iowa.
Oh, I've been there. I saw a duel against Don Bosco.
That is, yeah, that
Yeah.
is a rival.
Isn't that where he's from? Kobe Seabrook's from Lisbon?
Yes,
Lisbon.
Yeah.
I think he has been. All jokes aside, he has been a quite a surprise for, I think, Iowa fans. I don't think anyone
Solid performer.
felt like they would have this kind of
Productivity.
Well, not just the productivity, but like that they would know for sure that this is their 57.
Right.
Whereas it's like
I don't want to get
question.
too excited, Christian. He was down 10-1 to Arlona before the roll through.
Well, I don't think he's going to place or anything. I'm just saying they've got someone that you can feel decent about at
You can get
157.
behind.
Yeah. At least they
All
know
right.
who their guy is. It's not going to be a revolving door.
Sure.
He's not. Yeah.
A little bit electric, but yes, maybe I should not dampen everyone's excitement.
Well,
Being
I
a fun
mean,
hater. I'm being a fun hater. I'm sorry.
You hate fun. All right. What's
Let's get to Nebraska Nate's question,
Ooh.
Tyler. This is a hot take.
Hot take, Nebraska will finish ahead of Iowa in the NCAA tournament, and Nebraska will possibly knock off Iowa in their duel. 125,
Ooh.
yes, you got Spencer Lee. 133.
All right, let's cut him off. We got
141.
enough hot takes. Can we cut him?
well,
What do you guys say to that hot take?
So the least hot of the takes is the one that he doesn't. I think they have a better shot in the duel than
That's what
the
I was
tournament.
gonna say.
But I feel like
Same.
he has it reversed in his mind, in his hot take filled mind. So I mean, I think in a dual meet, especially if Spencer doesn't wrestle, which is I think a question for every dual meet moving forward.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they're gonna win. Okay, in a duel, they win 57 almost certainly.
Mhm,
They're gonna win 74 almost for sure.
mhm.
84 is toss up. Probably they're not favored. 97 they're not favored. Heavyweight they're not favored. So maybe they don't look so great in a duel.
Well, 33 is not. I mean,
33.
well, if they could wrestle,
They're still
Berwick-
trying. I got a call yesterday. They're still trying to get Berwick eligible. They say it's a simple. He sent me Coach Schneider sent me a document. Apparently, it's as simple as someone in the athletic department at Wisconsin signing a piece of paper. They think it's called a. I have it right here. It's called a Division
non-participation.
I Committee for Legislative Relief No Participation Opportunity Form is what it's called. And
Yeah.
he thinks it's that easy. So they are still hopeful that they can get Berwick back. but I don't know that Berwick or Boo Dryden is that much of a favorite over Iowa's 33.
Well, if it's Shriver, I would say
Berwick
probably
would be
a
the favorite.
toss, maybe favorite. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a favorite.
Teskey goes out, though. He's probably the favorite.
Yeah,
over
for
either
sure.
one.
But I
Yeah.
think Berwick is a better option, and there's a reason Nebraska wants to get him in so badly. It doesn't sound like it's going to happen.
Listen, I literally talked to him on the phone yesterday. I was talking about Snyder on Monday because I said I thought he was kind of full of it when he told me about some of these dudes, and then they kind of performed at CKLV, so I had to take back my original thoughts.
Yeah, so, I mean, Coach Snyder, I think, is obviously correct that it is as simple as a signature, but I think Wisconsin is not going to acquiesce, right? I think that's the problem. They're just not getting cooperation. According to Coach Manning,
the thing
they're just
last
not getting
time when they put it
cooperation.
out was the people of Wisconsin rebutted by saying, no, this is not our it's not us, it's the NCAA is what the rebuttal was the last time, and that seems to be, at least from Nebraska's point of view, not the case.
Yeah, we have actually an article. I don't think it's out yet, but about this. We spoke with Nebraska and Wisconsin, sort of Wisconsin. Tried our best there to kind of summarize the situation and where it stands for Berwick. So that should be coming out this week if it's not already.
So do you really, I mean, so obviously if they're trying hard, maybe it's just they want to do what's best for the kid, but it does also seem that maybe I just don't feel like he's that huge of an upgrade over Boo Dryden. I mean, he's like an NCAA qualifier, maybe win a match or two is kind of how I would feel about Kyle Berwick.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
But
if
Boo
it's your
Dryden's
best-
been a qualifier before, correct?
Maybe.
Yes, I think so.
I think the 2021 season, maybe he was. Okay.
I like him.
I don't remember exactly what CJ said, but he is an avid listener and question
CJ
asker.
Kemp has earned this airtime. Let's go.
Hi, guys. This is CJ from Indiana. First, I'd like to apologize for thinking that I was in some kind of FRL jail, and I'm past that. And I'm sorry for accusing you. All right, hot takes. I got two of them. One, if a person enters a replacement match because their pride is hurt, then their team points that they contributed for the tournament should no longer count, because I feel like you would get rid of unnecessary medical forfeits or injury defaults. And two, you mentioned how Abe Assad has had trouble finishing takedowns. I feel like he should go the Ridge Levitt route, take a redshirt year, and try and polish that up. Two hot takes. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
So I'm pretty sure Abe has taken a year.
No, I was gonna look, but I believe that's the case.
Medical.
Yeah. So he was injured.
So
It was.
I think
an injury year.
I'm not confirmed on that. He could theoretically take another red shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on the wrestler, I guess. But
He's
I
also
don't make
probably
it
the
mad,
best
but
guy.
you guys know my opinion of this situation.
so let's talk about the his first take about medical forfeits and losing team points, etc.
I don't like taking.
I'd love it if we could actually prove it.
Well, I don't like taking team points away that they've earned,
Mm-hmm.
but I am okay with a medical forfeit goes as a loss on your record.
I'm okay with it.
I'm good with that too.
You still get the team points you earned,
Mm-hmm.
but if you medically forfeit out, you take those losses. They count on your record for seeding, for rankings.
Well,
Yeah.
and
all that.
but the other thing that would be so the converse of that, which would be even more positive, probably is it would count as a win for the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the huge part, and because you are essentially robbing that other person of the opportunity to get a good win is what
Yes.
you're doing, and so I think that would be equally as impactful as that the injury default then counts as a win for the other person on their seating and on everything else. I think that would be enough to probably do away with a lot of the injuries, because people would say, well, I don't want to give that guy a free win because I'm not really that hurt, so therefore I'm going to compete.
Right. And it would be unfortunate because you'd get some Mike Van Brill, Jason Nolf, common sense kind of situations, but it's a small price to pay, in my opinion, for The large are good.
But so what I agree. What I would liken this to is the injury time situation in college right now. When before you had this rule, there was so many fake injury times, and when you put the rule in, you can obviously say, well, someone's actually really going to get hurt in a wrestling match, right? So that will be negatively impact them, even though they don't deserve it. But it has reduced the amount of fake ones by so much, and the amount of times you see someone really get hurt where they have to actually take an injury time and then they continue afterwards is really not all that frequent.
Yes, exactly.
So it's been really great. Hey guys, Ben. I got one hot take real quick.
Okay,
why didn't we nominate Boo Dryden for a Hodge last year? During his redshirt year, he was 14-0 with a 60% bonus rate.
Sounds like he was redshirting. That was one of the main reasons we didn't nominate him. We should do a redshirt.
Pin and check and everybody.
A redshirt Hodge. The greatest redshirt seasons. Paniro wouldn't have won that one.
I did do top redshirts at every weight last season. Top redshirt seasons at every weight. I would just have to pick between those 10.
There you go. So, Ben, Jeff Baxter says, pull your Visa card up a little higher. Were you buying something online through the course of this show?
It was on the back of his phone.
Oh, on your phone.
He's got a phone wallet.
I was looking at I was looking at St. Richard's thing that JD sent me. I don't know why it didn't come up. Usually it comes up on my computer also, but JD's did not come up on my computer.
Visa card. You can't hide money.
Kobe's dad is a lot tougher than Ben. I can promise you that.
All right, really? Yeah. I can promise you that's probably not the case.
Jeff, put down the alcohol this morning. It's too early to be drinking.
Why? People could be a lot of things compared to you, but tougher is going to be a pretty tough bar for them to clear.
Probably unlikely.
Although who's to say? We don't know, Mr. Seabrook.
Never know.
Look, just
I really enjoy these hot takes. This has been really fun.
What about Penn State Pete? Penn State fans are always good for a couple heaters.
What's Penn State got? Penn State Pete.
It's got to be Max Dean got robbed.
Pete from Central Pennsylvania. I have 3 takes. Bo Bartlett and Shayne Van Ness from Penn State will be in the semifinals of the NCAA championships. And Spencer Lee, he's not going to make it to the top of the podium. Bye.
Wait, I thought you said 3, but that was only 2, I guess, unless you combine.
Van Ness and Bartlett are 2 takes.
Tell them separately.
Those are separate takes.
Although it seemed like the same take because it was like together.
I'm with him. I'm with him on the first 2, not the Spencer.
There's a possibility. There really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Been saying it for years, and it's time for it to come to fruition.
But the only problem with that is if they're in the semis, they're likely going to be in the finals because Penn State's record in the semis is amazing.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to beat them generally.
Yeah.
Kozak and I were having this discussion yesterday in the office. Who has the better season, and then also who has the better career? Paniro Johnson, Shayne Van Ness.
Oh, that's a great one.
Man, it's just so tough. It's
so
tough
early
because with Shayne, it's like you factor in things that are sort of outside of him, like where he is, but you factor in his pedigree, where he is, and frankly how he's looking right now, which I would say is pretty strong. He's
undefeated.
He's tough to bet against. He's going to beat someone really, really good this year.
He already beat someone really, really good.
Shayne?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Paniro. Got it.
Paniro
Shayne.
For sure, yeah.
Shayne's good.
I have a hard time picking against Van Ness in that scenario.
What about season?
Yeah, if I'll speak to Paniro because I've watched him compete and been frustrated. When he beat Mitchell once or twice early. And he did fake injury. He did fake injuries a lot. The one Fargo was 7 of 9 matches where he was doing the injury time shenanigans.
Paniro?
But I went back and watched 7 of 9 matches. 7 of 9 matches. He called a significant injury timeout.
No,
that year.
I was calling him Musakayev of NCAA Wrestling.
Oh my god!
This offseason.
Yes. So that seems to be addressed from him and his coaches. So from the point of just tactics, skill level, and athleticism, man, he wrestles really well. Like he does a lot of things really well. It's not like he has one or two things he can do. He's actually solid on top sometimes. He generally gets off bottom. He can attack to both sides of the body. He's pretty good defensively. So like he kind of checks a lot of the boxes. The one big issue was cardio, because listen, if you don't have cardio, it doesn't matter how many the other damn boxes you check. If you can't stand up for 7 minutes, you're going to lose a lot. But now he's kind of proven that he's can or is going to. And I said yesterday, my concern was that over the course of a tournament, is that going to wear on him and his body? Because I don't think he's the guy that's going to pin a lot and get on and off the mat quickly. So he's going to have a whole bunch of tough matches. So I guess, that's the one question. But from a skill level, I'm very impressed. Always have been very impressed with him. He's good. He does a lot of things really well.
The answer to the Paniro Johnson versus Shayne Van Ness will become much more clear by the end of January, because Penn State duels Wisconsin January 6th and Iowa January 27th. And then Ohio State February 3rd.
Sasso.
Yep. So he will get Gomez, Mirren, and Sasso there in a 1-month stretch. So we're really going to find out who Shayne Van Ness is.
I'd be stunned if he didn't get one of those, and I would be not remotely surprised if he got 2 of them.
But what about all 3? I think two would I would be a little surprised.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
So you're saying, so you have to predict him to beat either Gomez or Sasso?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he beats Mirren, and then I think he gets one of those guys. That would be my.
I don't hate it, but
I think we just haven't got to see him against. He's passed every test so far, but he has not had a hard test at this point. Not someone that's going to put you in the, for sure you're an All-American strata, but I think eye test, he's checking all the boxes.
he has, and he's winning not super close. He had the kind of close one. He had the very close one with Johnny Lovett at Black Knight. But besides that, he's winning fairly handily.
Yeah, he looks good. I think he looks a little small for the weight, which I did not expect.
Yeah. Well, I think we thought, is he going to be 49, or is he going to be a 41? Obviously brought a little bit down. I don't feel like he's too. I mean, I don't
He's
think
not too small. No,
he's not too small, and I don't think that size, especially in college wrestling with one on win, makes that much of a difference.
I think it's what's going to help him win some of those duels.
Yeah, honestly, when you're cutting too much at, say, the NCAAs or a conference tournament, that's when it can really start piling up, because you have, say, conference, right? You may have 3 matches in the day, and then you got to go cut weight, and then you got to come back and get 2 in the morning or whatever. It can start piling up on you.
Indeed. All right, so those are good ones. And then wait, so it was Bo, it was Van Ness, and what was his third one?
Spencer Lee won't make it to the top of the podium.
Well, that's
bad take.
Yeah, I think you're basically just predicting an injury at that point. Which
that's what you're predicting.
Yeah. Okay.
There is also the chance.
Do we have wait, hold on. We had some people yesterday in the chat saying that Glory's going up. Did we get any feedback on that?
I should reach out to coaches.
Before we talk about that, chat reminded me, actually, both these teams are going to be at collegiate duels, Iowa State and Penn State. They are not in the same pool.
Collegiate duels, okay. There you go.
So they would have to, I think they would have to.
They can't wrestle then, because what they do is they do one pool, and they do like 3 teams go round robin, 3 teams go round robin, and then 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2.
Yes.
And then they do a totally separate pool, and the pools of 6 never cross over.
So it cannot happen.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's get to some other questions here. From Patrick Thompson, let's talk about Jordan Burroughs' question is...
They're both in the blue pool. I'm looking at it right now.
What?
Oh, so they could mix it up.
If they both win their pools, they'll be in the blue championship pool match.
Let's go.
And then we'll really get an answer to it. And that's just 2 weeks away.
Let's see. Yeah, so you're right. They're both in the blue pool. So You see it. Who is Lachlan McNeil? Is that North Carolina's 149?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, am I right? Because they're in the blue.
Oh, no, it's Sherman. Sherman's their 49.
Sherman.
Lachlan 41.
Okay. That'd be the two interesting matches right there for Penn State 41-49 guys.
Okay.
And then we would get to see Swiderski and Bartlett. Who would you choose, Christian?
That's a tough one for Bob. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'd probably pick Casey right now. Maybe not though.
Turn in your back.
No way.
Cornell also in the blue pool.
I feel like something.
But I don't think Yanni's going to wrestle.
Where are you looking at this information at?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, hold on. 'Cause I know they had that little chart up. I saw somewhere. All right, I need to try to find it. Okay, I just want to make sure we're not giving people bad information here.
Okay. Can we
Wait, I
move?
got it right here.
Oh my God.
No,
No,
we can't
Iowa
move.
State and Penn State are in different pools, so you got bad info. So Penn State, Cornell, and Ohio. We're messing this up. All right, next topic. We're whiffing on this one.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Is Jordan Burroughs the Nolan Ryan of wrestling, the Tom Brady of wrestling, or the Michael Jordan of wrestling?
I was curious what this guy meant by this because how would you classify each person? So like if you said Cal Ripken, that would be like the Iron Man, the guy who shows up every single time, you know. But so when he says Nolan Ryan, what does he mean by that?
Well,
exactly?
Nolan Ryan sort of is like an Iron Man type of pitcher. He pitched forever.
Played
He has
for a
like
long time.
The guy that
every
punches
record.
people in the face.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
He punches Robin Ventura when he attacks him. Just longevity. This amazing career, just like incredible stats. Tom Brady, winner personified. Michael Jordan, winner, maybe the most talented, skillful basketball player anyone's ever seen.
Much better word.
Whereas like Tom Brady is probably not the most skillful quarterback necessarily in terms of like pure athleticism. So I don't know. I don't think it's Michael Jordan though. Because Michael had like the
Well, you could also say Michael didn't, he didn't really mature until, I mean, the connection you could draw there was that, he didn't make his varsity basketball team, right? Wasn't that the thing?
Yeah.
He didn't make his varsity basketball team. And then I know he got a lot better, like later in high school and then going into college, which was, similar to Jordan. He was like good, but not great in high school. Even they wrestled him as a true freshman. He was like good, but not great, did an All-American, and then really had some really good improvement after that.
You could say that about so Michael Jordan came into college basketball and won a national title right away and was unquestionably a big part of that. I think he even hit like the winning shot. Tom Brady was not that guy. He was benched multiple times at Michigan. He was the 199th draft pick coming out. I feel like Brady's a better comp because Jordan's hasn't had like the multiple like condensed streaks where Jordan won 2 3-peats in a very close period of time, whereas Jordan has like won over the course of like a 10-year period. He's won a lot. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Probably not Nolan Ryan. What are the most unlikely high school wrestling hotbeds? Well, a lot of a college coach told me that Wisconsin is the most under-recruited.
We're coming, baby. We're coming for you, all of you.
I think that's changed.
Now it's kind of known.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you're putting
really,
so many good products out, Ben.
People are starting to come. It's changing for sure. But say like 5-10 years ago, that was the case. Like if you went to the Wisconsin high school state tournament, nobody would. Maybe like who was kind of recruiting Wisconsin before it popped was North Dakota State and Central Michigan. Central Michigan always got a bunch of Wisconsin kids going way, way back. So did NDSU. And then obviously there was the original Missouri connection, and then the Missouri connection was reestablished. So the original Missouri connection was me, Pell, Wagner, Chase Wettenkamp never panned out, Max. Then it was Nick Huckey, who's from Arrowhead, and then it kind of dropped off for a couple of years, and then now there's obviously been a whole bunch more.
Yeah. What would be some other ones? So the traditional hotbeds are like, basically all of New Jersey.
Lehigh Valley, Pittsburgh,
Lehigh Valley,
Jersey.
Western PA, Northeast Ohio.
Yep.
Then what would be the next ones? Like
Chicago area.
Well, so California,
Chicago,
I
yeah,
would say,
Chicago, duh.
would be. I always forget which major city is Clovis, and those ones. Where is that?
Clovis
is it
is like
Fresno, or is it
Fresno? Yeah.
Fresno? That area's got a bunch of good wrestling. Really, Cali's got kind of a bunch of good pockets because you got the Poway and LA's usually has some pretty good guys. But the other thing, don't take me as criticizing this California. The other thing is when you have 12 million people within an area, you're much more likely to have a hotbed because the likelihood of having
Per capita debate. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Yeah, versus Iowa's got 2.5 million people total, whereas
I didn't say it.
LA
Ben said it.
area. It's a true fact. Let's see, where else? I feel like Georgia has been putting out some guys, so I'll say maybe that would be an underrated hotbed because they had a really good senior class last year.
Southern Florida, like Miami area, actually has a surprising amount of.
I think they've had some guys for kind of like even since back when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's but no one ever really talks about South Florida.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's Brandon High School? They were really good.
That
What city is that?
Tampa. Or was it Orlando?
Tampa?
Mm-hmm. It's not the Dade County. Where else? Obviously Virginia, Shenandoah Valley.
Stop. You know who? I actually have a theory on this, but and I don't know if you would call it a hotbed, but I feel like for the level of their high school wrestling, if you compared it directly to NCAA tournament points, I feel like Colorado and Utah both put out a decent amount of NCAA points compared to what you would consider their high school skill level. So you've always had like obviously last year was Deacon. But historically, you've had Medbury, you've had the Loft Houses, you've kind of had like a handful of good guys from that area.
Lamont, for sure.
Sandersons, they were kind of good.
Jury's still out. At Kansas City, Missouri area,
they got really good.
Yeah.
That North KC.
That's from Matt Rudd, and I think you're right, Matt.
Yeah, that was after I was out of college that they really started getting good up there. So that Park Hill, Liberty, Oak Park. The area, Staley, they've really put out a bunch of good kids lately.
Indeed. JD's got some heat maps percolating.
I'm looking at heat maps right now. NCAA points. Last year's NCAA points.
Heat maps. Where's it at? Can I see it?
I can also send this to you. Yes.
Put it in the chat. Let's go.
I can't put it in the YouTube one. I guess I can put it in the Facebook one.
Bookface it. Okay. All right. Okay, here's a question. If reviews are taking 2 minutes plus, is it worth even doing them? Does it change the flow of the match? Do you think it might be better just to eliminate them? I would not want to eliminate them, but I do think they should be done much faster.
Yeah, sometimes it's I don't know if it's all like video operator error, but sometimes you are thinking like, how can this possibly be taking this long? The call is relatively simple. I do like the fact that they get things that were wrong and they get them right, but yes, sometimes it absolutely takes too long, and I feel as though it should be faster.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination. Some of it is they just overanalyze and watch it too much, and some of it is they're waiting for the flow person to come and pull it up on the computer and show it and find the file, and they're
gonna have Desi run from the head table.
You got Desi sprinting around. It's not the most efficient way. So it's a combination, but for sure, I think it disrupts the flow of the match. But that's going to happen anyways. It's just you just want to mitigate how much disruption it causes.
Hey, look at me! I was right. Colorado 4th on points per million residents. Wisconsin 5th. Utah didn't do so good last year, though. They were terrible.
But that's just for 1 year, right?
That was just 2022.
Year.
Yeah, it'd be cool to
look Georgia at actually is really Georgia's last freaking place. I said they were. I did say the senior class last year, so maybe over the course of the next few years they'll move up a little bit.
What is a rematch?
I mean, what?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Oh, Wisconsin could get. Wisconsin's at roughly 10 points, and then Pennsylvania would be the number one team at 12.69. Minnesota, I feel like Minnesota's a pretty established hotbed also. Pinnacle but I feel like they've been good for a while also. Like they always beat us, and we did a border battle type thing, and they always beat us. They're second, New Jersey third, but Wisconsin, man, we only need about 10 more points to move up into first place, 10, 12 more points. So, hopefully we get a few more guys doing well in there this year.
Okay. That's talking states.
Talking Wisconsin, baby.
Here's a question from CJ Kemp. Can Ben explain what Keegan was doing to keep Hall from scoring, even after he got it deep on him? Yeah, that's the question, because the other one's for Shayne.
He was being a freaking wizard.
That's it? Just wizardry?
Yeah, honestly, when I watched Keegan, there was the one in the first where he got a little over aggressive, and then Peyton Hall kind of flipped him over and he kind of went to his back. But then his recovery and his thought process is so quick, and it's like bam, 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 and he's out of trouble really, really quickly. And even in a second when he kind of got in trouble and it looked like, oh my God, he's in trouble. And then, he came back to that far ankle so quickly. And if the period when it went on, he likely was going to improve. I don't know if he would have scored because obviously Peyton Hall did a great job in those scrambles as well. But I think it's just a really in-depth knowledge of all of the positions and a comfortability with all of the positions of I know where to go next. I know how to get out of this pretty much everywhere he's at.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he's a really, I would be curious to see, and I don't know the answer to this, and I actually pick on him sometimes about this because I think he doesn't ever push back on me, but given how he wrestles, he is pushing back a little bit. I've pushed back on his desire to be flawless. He hates giving up takedowns, but sometimes if you want to dominate, it can be counterproductive because you're being less risk tolerant than maybe you should be. You should maybe take more risks if you want to be more dominant. You think of someone like David Taylor, for example, would be a great example of this. But he rarely gives up takedowns. I mean, he's 50-1 in his college career. I don't know how many takedowns the numbers, it's definitely in the single digits in 51 matches. I don't know how low it is, but it's got to be pretty low.
How many did you give up your senior year?
I don't know. That's why I tell him I don't count that shit. I don't care.
All right. But come on.
I just want to pin people.
I bet it was in the single digits, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but not earlier in my career. Definitely not. I was very likely to give up an early takedown or two in order to get something happen and come back and that type of thing.
Yeah. Wick Jacoby Hayden, he said, "Hey Ben and JD, please force Pyle to recognize Brian Smith as a tier 1 coach." He is a tier 1 coach. That's been recognized. I've recognized that.
Yes, sir.
Without dispute from really anyone that knows wrestling. He said, "I'm crying about Rocky being ranked 1." Not at all. He's the rightful number 1.
I don't think you said anything about that. That's probably rightful number 1.
See, Wick is not a reasonable person, unfortunately. And I won't let that cloud my judgment about Missouri fans writ large.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless he doesn't hate Mizzou like you.
I don't hate it. I love it. All right. Next question. Pat McKee in the last couple of seasons always had a rocky start. This year he looks laser sharp and focused early on. How real of a threat do you think he is to be a finalist? He's my pick to be there with Lee as of right now if they're on opposite sides of the bracket in March. That's from Jason Hildreth.
It's a good point. Especially if Patrick Glory moves up, I think the likelihood goes up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so too. And Zach Sanders needs to beat him in a match before.
Fire. We got that all set up. We're ready to rumble.
Yeah, set that. I can only assume that's what happened at the All-Star.
I mean, it's not really that outrageous of a take because right now the rankings are Lee 1, Glory 2, McKee 3, DeAugustino 4, Barnett 5, Cardinale, Figueroa. I mean, we've seen Barnett beat Glory, but Glory. We've seen Barnett beat McKee, but McKee has gotten the better of him more often. And I think you definitely consider him the favorite over the rest of these dudes.
Man, 125. So if everything had gone and the world hadn't been turned upside down with COVID, Spencer Lee wouldn't be wrestling this year like many other wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what that means for 125. Like what 125 would look like without Spencer. It's definitely one of the more down weights. And I don't know how much of that is just the Spencer effect. I really don't think it is. I think it's something else. Or I don't know.
I think it's just the seasonality of weight classes. I think they go up and down and they fluctuate. The other one you don't have in here, which we have Figueroa at 7, and obviously he's really good. Brandon Courtney is not in here. I think he would probably be ranked above McKee.
I don't know, because McKee outplaced him at NCAAs. I'm not sure if he had a head-to-head last year or not.
I will look.
Okay. One more question.
No, he lost to Soriano. He did the semi. Oh, he did. He lost in the 5th place match. So semi-slide, Soriano, D'Agostino, McKee.
From CP Talk, what does a match between Penn State Mark Hall versus Carter Starachi look like? Who wins?
I have an unfortunate take on this one.
I know the take, but go ahead.
I'm almost certain it's true. It's going to be so boring. It's going to freaking rideouts.
That's very possible.
That's what's going to happen.
That'd be my prediction as well.
Doesn't that suck?
Yeah. Yep. I figure it probably looks like probably some weird ride-out thing. I would say Mark has an advantage probably in upper body positions. Defense is different.
But they're both really disciplined also, so they're probably not going to let the other person get to what the other person wants to get to.
Carter probably has better like overall head-hands defense, but I think Mark's leg defense when you're in is better than Carter's.
I mean, it's going to be so hard because they're both going to get to each other's somewhere deep on the other person, whether it be upper body or leg attack or whatever, so infrequently. Like, it's just not going to happen a lot.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd pick. And they both wrestled Mark Hall with mixed Michael Kimmer with sort of mixed results.
Yep.
It's really tough to say.
Very
good
tough.
Question, though.
They're definitely a good question.
All right. Wow, so many questions. Holy crap.
Really is so many.
All right, let's assume, just for the sake of the question, Pat Glory's going 33. Moat Man wants to know if he will be a finalist at 133.
I vote no. I think he's an underdog. I think he's an underdog against Fix or RBY by a decent margin. And him and Vito have been back and forth. Would I be completely shocked? No, I would not. How about you guys needed to back me up more yesterday on that when Shayne was trying to roast me on
Glory,
his Patrick Glory point.
Well, part of it,
Patrick Glory did not win.
We're getting hung up on semantics.
Yeah,
you and Shayne love getting hung up on semantics.
Yeah, they love it.
Well, you won't give it up. You can't. You were wrong. You can't roast me when you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay. You can handle it yourself.
Okay, I can handle
At any point in their careers, will Swiderski and Johnson be the biggest 1-2 punch in college wrestling? Asks Tropic Spaghetti.
Not impossible.
Not impossible. They could be fun. Fun 1-2 punch.
Already are.
Very fun.
Yeah, they already are.
Almost more fun right now because we're still finding out.
This is so funny. Paul Young's. God, let go, Ben. Ben is not a good letter goer.
I can't let go. I'm not.
That is not.
You know who's almost equally bad at me is you, Christian. Remember that time you were late to the show?
Because that's a lie. You're a liar. I'm always here. I'm gonna start videoing every time I walk in here and sit down at the time. I'll have a little timestamp. It'll be irrefutable. And then at 8...
Sounds like you need to let it go.
All right, I'll let it go. You trolls. Okay. Someone asked, "Is Iowa State back? Are they officially back?"
Top 3. Right now.
I feel like you got to do it at NCAAs to be fully back or officially back.
How high did they have to place to be back?
Yeah.
Top 5's back.
Not trophy? I think trophy.
I mean, if you get 5th.
I think that's next year. I don't think it's this year. Next year they bring a lot back. They don't lose too much. Yeah, Yeah, not this
I
year.
mean, at this
think.
point, we're getting hung on the semantics of back.
Well, listen, this is not a team that in the last 20 years was winning NCAAs, right?
Correct.
They were knocking at the door in 2009.
You tell old heads names back, though, they're thinking national championship teams.
Yeah, that's what when you're saying back, it's like, well, Iowa State was a trophy team really frequently. So when you say back, I'm like, I think you mean that because they did that.
You say,
a whole bunch.
it's been a really bad team. They're an improved team.
So frequent trophy contention, I think, is back. I think with the standard that Penn State's setting, it's like, man, you can't make the bar title winning.
Right. Because nobody is hitting that, basically.
No.
Yes, agreed.
Like in sports, in college sports, not just wrestling. No one's.
I mean, Iowa State hasn't won a national title since.
That's what I'm saying.
87.
1987. Yeah, 87.
You were not alive.
No, that was Arizona State. Arizona State was 87.
Iowa.
The 88? Somewhere around there. Arizona State was 88. NCAA Wrestling Team Champ list. I wish there was more of a can you guys do this sometime? I really wish there was more of a one resource for wrestling information where we could just go. That would be
like
really
an essential
tremendous.
destination type of thing.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, like I was thinking the other one, I was just because we talked about the states, I was thinking like if there was something where you could click on the state and then say
it was
a year
87. It was 87.
Okay, it was.
Hey,
So
Ben,
when
I would,
year Arizona State won in
invite you
88
to
then?
Suck it.
So Arizona State won in 88.
Yeah. And then, so 87 and the previous time before that was 77.
77.
So we're
But then,
literally talking.
I mean, you go far enough back, like they won 73, 72, 70, 69, 65.
Nice.
They were kind of winning a lot in that one Harold Nichols era.
So yeah, 65 through 77. I mean, that's
But then you had the Gable era, where he won everything.
he did. Very selfish, Dan Gable.
Yeah, so they were
Traitor.
and so they were runners up in
Coward.
76, 78, 79, 82. Then took a while break, then 96, 2000, 2002, 2007. So when you think about Iowa State, you think like, they were in trophy contention a lot.
Is Iowa State a blue blood?
They're a blue blood.
Yes,
They're
are.
a traditional power. Power being, typically in the top 5 sort of range. I think they're back to that status in the conversation. Because this isn't like a, every now and again you'll get a perfect storm of like transfers and one thing, and you have like a transcendent point scorer that like can make your team look maybe a little better than it is over the long term. Yeah. I think they've got a foundation that's going to keep them in the mix.
Feels like it.
It does. Okay. And winning can beget winning also, so that can't be discounted either.
Yeah, cause especially when you got, next year you just think they got Bastida, Carr, Swiderski, Johnson all coming back as kind of a nucleus. And, if they can pick up a transfer portal or, someone else like a Swiderski or Johnson who comes out as a freshman and does really well, that puts him in the mix for a trophy.
I try to get more people from Cuba.
Oh, trust me.
I think they do that. Don't they have another one on the roster? I don't think he's very good. I think he's a bigger guy.
It's on their radar.
Well, because they have that Cuban coach. I believe that
you
was
think
the
Dresser hasn't thought about
dad
that?
Oh, of course he has.
Oh, he's thought about it for sure.
Of course.
Love it.
He wants, yeah.
All right.
Let's see if they get a good freshman that I'm high on to see if they'll pop up next year. Is there anything you guys think that they could do really well
Rojas is on the
year?
team. He was good in high school.
Yeah, how good's Gaitan going to be?
Well, Rojas and Gaitan, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, those are two good guys. Yeah, they're gonna be around for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else before we go?
I have nothing else. Big weekend wrestling. Yeah, Nando Villasquela, his dad is helps out coaching and stuff. He is a Cuban also, I believe.
Yes, he was Younger's translator before.
Oh yeah,
Younger's now fluent.
Dang.
Keep scrolling down, and Fernando Villasquela, he's on the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. His son was a graduate of Gilbert High School.
Gilbert. Okay.
Gilbert.
The more you know. Well, hey, we're gonna go. Good luck to You got any competitions this weekend, Ben?
Our 7th grader is going to the Ignition trip. Obviously a lot of high school wrestling going on. Ozzy does his first wrestling practice tonight. Turns 5. I made him wait. I wouldn't let him do one. He's super jacked up about that. So,
I need some video of that. That moment.
There's this one thing that I wish I would have got video of that he does in soccer, because he did soccer this fall. So, the field, it's a 5-year-old field, so it's really a small field,
Yeah.
But he walks all the way back to his goal for the kickoff, and he runs half the field to kick the ball off. That's the funniest thing. But this one game, he did it, and he whiffed on it. And everyone's like, and his ass walked all the way back to the goal again. And everyone's like, no, don't walk back. He's like, no, I'm walking back. And he walked all the way back to the goal. And he actually hit it that time. It was so funny.
That is hilarious. Brother, you got your
And he
hands
yells.
full.
He screams the whole time. He goes, ah!
No.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's the funniest kid ever. That's hysterical. All right. Bring him down to Iron, Texas. I'm sure they got a division for Ozzy.
Iron Tiger.
All right, yeah, Iron Tiger. See you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.